get out of here, work. I'm off today. I don't know. I don't want to know what national sponsorship levels are. Wow, my family group chat's really bumping right now. I don't know what's happening. Oh my gosh, I have to mute this. Stop. Seriously, what the heck, family? Who told you could be doing this? I don't want any of these. I don't want work. I don't want a family group chat. My dad is growing a beard, apparently. And he's sending these selfies to my sister and me saying, my mom doesn't want him to keep it. What do we think? So, oops. Let me look at my chart here. I'll tell you what I really have to mute this group chat. Asking how much time I have spent fixing my hair for this video. Because it's probably taken me much longer to do my hair for this than it has for me to film it. I'm getting really tired of talking. I've been at this for over an hour. Wow. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Crafty Kristina Knitting Podcast. My name is Kristina. I am your host, and I am so happy to see you again. We have so many things to talk about today. I made a list. It's 2 pages long. And I don't know if you're really going to believe all of the nitty things that I have been up to. Today I'm going to sprinkle in some plantage if you're interested in that. I don't even know where to begin. I have been knitting so much since my last episode aired. But before we get into that, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who left me a kind comment or sent me a sweet message on Instagram after episode 9. I was really nervous about coming back, and you all welcomed me back with open arms, and a lot of you said you were missing me and had been waiting for an update. So that made me feel really good, and I'm really happy to be back. And I'm working on ways to keep connected and stay present on this channel a little bit more. So I'm back today with episode 10, and I'm just really excited to share what I have been working on. So grab your knitting, grab your crochet, your crafts, whatever you're working on, a snack if you need one. I've got my cup of coffee. I've got a heaping pile of projects and things to show to you. So get something warm to drink, cozy up, and let's catch up. Okay, let's start with some finished objects. I've got a couple hose also to show you. I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud. It's pretty unbelievable to me how much knitting I've been able to get done since my last episode in early September. So I don't really know where I'm going to start. I have a couple of socks, so I'm going to start with that. I had mentioned that I really only finished socks in my last episode, but I had been missing a couple of pairs. So I finished these. God, I love these so much. I have to be careful. I'm going to have to show you this one because I've got an oopsie. I actually have a couple oopsies to talk about today, which I thought I was past that in my knitting life, but apparently I've been humbled by a lot of different things. But this sock, I actually finished this pair for myself during summer sock camp hosted by the Crazy Sock Lady. I think this is my favorite pair of socks I've ever knit. It's a self-striping yarn. I think the colorway is called Customer's Favorites by, I wonder if I have the tag somewhere in here. Fiber Nymph Dye Works. I got it on a yarn crawl last year. Is it in here? digging through one of my bags where I have approximately 13,000. No, it's not in there. Anyway, I just really wanted to show these because I'm just obsessed. I mean, come on. Don't you want to put these on your feet? They're so fun. So again, my sock recipe, I do knit 2, purl 2, rib, 20 rounds for the cuff. I cast on 64. I do 50 rounds for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset. After I do the gusset decreases, I usually knit about 50 rounds, and then I do a rounded toe. So that's what this is. Oh, I also want to add, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but now that I've really settled into sock knitting, my foot needs less stitches, so I decreased to 60 on the foot now. So I've changed that a little bit, and they seem to be fitting a little bit better. The oopsie that I have here is I wore these maybe once, and there's a hole in the toe. I don't know if you can see that. Don't focus on me, focus on the hole. Anyway, so maybe I jinxed myself because I think in the last episode I was talking about how the oopsie gusset lady-in-law put a hole in her socks, and I was like, how the heck do you even do that? And then here I am. So I've been served up a slice of humble pie, and I need to figure out how to repair that. So I don't know. Other than that, I really love these socks, and I wore them a couple of times, I think, before the hole came, but I have to learn how to fix those. So that's my first FO from a while ago, from summertime. The other FO I wanted to show you was I actually started knitting a pair of shorty socks earlier this year, and I really think I knit this in like May. I don't think I could tell you what I did. I only knit one. I tried it on. I don't like the way that it fits, and so I'm not really motivated to finish the other. I know it would be quick, but it looks like I maybe did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, maybe 5 rounds knit 2, purl 2 for a cuff, and then I'm pretty sure I knit, did I? What did I do here? Did I go right into the heel? That feels strange. No way that's what I did. Is that really what I did? That can't be. No, it's not. It is not. I knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I cast on, I knit 5 rounds, knit 2, purl 2, cuff. Then I knit 5 rounds regular for the leg. And then I did a slip stitch heel flap. And then I knit these to fit my foot, 60 rounds. 60 stitches, 50 rounds, and then the rounded toe, which like fits my foot fine. It's just a little loose here, I guess, I think is what bothered me. This colorway is Teeny Button Studios. I'll hold that up so you can see it better. It's Teeny Button. This was I think an old Gilmore Girls club she did, like a monthly club. The colorway is Sally's Pralines. I've got this much left still. I actually think I got this yarn. I put it in my very first episode. I showed all of my whips. And at the time I was working on the Jig Shawl puzzle shawl by Stephen West. And I frogged it. Well, I took the needles out. But I don't know if I actually frogged it. I think it's in my bin to like rip out eventually. But this was some of the yarn I used in that. I don't know. I don't really like it all that much. I told my friend Kristen I would send her my scraps like 6 months ago after I finished the sock. I was like, let me finish like my pair and I'll send you what's left. I hate to just have one sock laying around, so I'm sure eventually I'll finish this. But I did want to show you that because I'd never knit a shorty sock before. And what I learned from that is that I don't like it. So that's another hoe. I'm going to jump around a little bit more because, wait a minute. Did I show it all? No. I do have one other hoe. Mostly. Which is I finally finished these Christmas socks. This is a colorway by the Homespun House. I think this was maybe the first pair of socks I actually, second. I think this is the first pair of socks that I actually decreased to 60 rounds on the foot and realized that it fit me better. So that's what I did. It looks like on this sock I did knit 2, purl 2, cuff for 20 rounds, and I did 2 rounds of this mini that came with it, 50 rounds for the leg. I did the Eye of Partridge heel flap, which is so pretty but really annoying. So I don't know how often I'm going to do that. And then I knit to the toe, and then I knit 2 rounds of contrast color, 2 rounds of the main color of the sock, and then 2 rounds, then I finished the toe. And I think they look pretty good. I've been working on finishing these the whole year. I finally finished them. I didn't weave in the ends. Okay? I don't know when I'm going to do that, don't ask. But it's done to me because it's off the needles. So I finished these. They're super fun. I'm certain I'll probably just like bite the bullet and weave in. Actually, I have another pair of socks I'm really close to finishing, so I'll probably do that at the same time. But these are also finished since September. So these socks I finished earlier in the year and just wanted to show you. These socks, I finished one super early in the year, and then I just finished the second since my last episode in September. And you know what? This doesn't count as a, does it? No. The final finished object I'm going to show you is the biggest one, and that is my NYX shawl. You guys, this is very hard to show. I am obsessed with this. This pattern was so much fun. I made a couple oopsies, but it is a really beautiful way and pretty easy way to use up 3 skeins of yarn for the most part. Like if you have 2 skeins of a single color and then you've got like, I don't know, a magical single skein you've been holding on to for something special and you don't know, and you really want to showcase it in something, I recommend this. Look how beautiful it is. This is a pattern. It's a paid for pattern by Melanie Berg. And I just really enjoyed it. I wanted something that was going to be beautiful and snuggly for the fall. Let me drape it on for you. Show you what it looks like. You start on this edge. And then you just knit until you end in garter. But let me drape this around to show you what it looks like. I have been wearing this every single week since I finished it. I finished it the first week in October, I think. Is that when I finished it? Yeah. I think I probably finished it October 5th or 6th because I wanted to have it done. I really pushed myself and I wanted to have it done. Let me, this is what this looks like. Kind of on. And I've also been, I saw somebody on Instagram do this in like a video or something where you like tie it underneath, I don't know, so it hangs. I've been doing that. I also wore it as like a regular scarf. I mean, come on, tell me this isn't cute. I'm very far away, sitting back on the couch, but like, it's so cute and it's really warm, but it's like just light enough that it doesn't make me too hot. So, oh yeah, I just tied it under here. I mean, like I even went out one day and I was wearing it like this and I really felt like a supermodel. I'm like, wow, let me walk around like this. I mean, there's tons of ways you could tie it on. It's a shawl, but it's cute. I've had it in the office where my rude coworkers didn't compliment me on it many, many times. I mean, look at the back. The back's even beautiful. I don't know, it just drapes nicely. You can tie it in the front. I really like it. It was a lot of fun and pretty mindless for the most part. Like I said, there's a couple of different sections in it but most of it's just like pattern repeat. So you start in your main color and then you do a pattern repeat, right? And then you go back to your main color and then you just do the pattern repeat all the way until, you know, I mean, honestly, if I were knitting this, had I not want to finish it before casting on my Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, the Twist and Turn shawl, I probably would have kept going. Because I have a lot of yarn left, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. But calls for 3 skeins, 2 of your main, 1 of the contrast color. And that's it. She says, you know, you can end here, or there's an option that you can just keep doing repeats until you're like out of yarn. Or if you're running out of yarn, you could also stop. It's a very nice size. It's a very nice size. Let me give you another close-up of this because I don't know. I just can't get enough. And it even looks beautiful on the reverse side. I was pretty nervous when I bought this yarn, to be honest, because I thought it was going to be too dark and it wasn't going to contrast enough. But I think it's perfect. I went to a fiber festival a couple weekends ago. I got a couple of compliments on it. Went up to different booths, and the first thing people said were, "I love that scarf." I'm like, oh, thank you, I made it. Those are the people you want in your life that compliment your knits, even if they don't know that you knit them. Okay, so let me tell you about this yarn. This yarn, here's what I have left. Like, I still have a decent amount. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe make some socks. I think that could be cute. I make some ear warmers. I've got these left. So this purple is, it's the wrong tag. It's Trilogy yarns and the color Cabernet. It's beautiful. It did bleed a little bit when I washed it, but it was fine. I just changed the water and then which actually it's the first time I've ever had something bleed in my knitting experience so far. So I was actually on the phone with a friend who was like, just dump the water out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so it was fine. But it's the Glamorous Base Trilogy yarns. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 100 grams. I'm pretty obsessed with Trilogy yarns right now for a number of reasons, but that was this color. And then my contrast was Malabrigo sock, approximately 440 yards. Oh, it is superwash merino. And the colorway is 862 Piedras, Piedras. And that's it. So this is how much I have left. I'd say about a half a skein, maybe not more of this. And then this used up a lot, but like I would have kept going till I was out of my contrast color. Had I not wanted to be finished, but I think it's fine. I could totally see myself knitting one again. In different colors. I know a lot of people use like a bear or a cream main color, and when the pattern was released, actually, I think there were like some kits that had like a cream and then like a really blue type of thing, and I don't know, it was really pretty, but I could totally see myself knitting this in a couple of other colors. I don't know if we'll do that anytime soon, but it was very enjoyable and very wearable. I've been wearing it at home. I've been wearing it to work. I got actually a mustard colored jacket sort of to transition me between like fall and winter. And it matches beautifully with this. It just goes, I mean, the colors are great. These are my colors too. So anyway, I'm really proud of it. I love it a lot, and I highly recommend the pattern. It was really, really easy. There's charts if you want to read a chart, which is what I did. I learned how to read the chart, which was the first time I ever did a chart. So I learned a lot during this too. There's some garter sections. I mean, it's really easy. It's really pretty easy. For the most part, mindless. You have to keep track of where you are. At least I did. But I really, really loved it. So, Nick's shawl. It is done. Let's move on to whips, which I have a couple, but 3 of them are new cast-ons. So let's talk about my whips, my true whips, which is really a pair of socks. I'm knitting these socks for Lady-in-Law. I got through the toe. I need to Kitchener it, but I've been doing a bunch of other things. I also had 3 events for my non-knitting job this month. And so I've been pretty busy. So I don't know. I took it off. I started the next sock. I think that feels right? I don't know. I just never Kitchenered the toe. But its mate is here. And I got through all of this. And I started slip stitch heel flap yesterday. This colorway, I think is called Confetti. And it is by Lazio Ranch Yarns, which is a dyer local to me. And that's it. So working on these. These are going to be a Christmas gift knit for a lady-in-law. And that's it. I think they're going to be really cute. I picked out this yarn with her in mind. She has no idea I'm knitting these socks for her, so I think it should be a really nice surprise. Let's see. What is next in my pile of whips? Let's talk about something. If you watched my What I Knit in a Week vlog, you'll have already seen this, but if you didn't, this will be new. I cast on a Musselburgh hat. And I'm almost finished. I'm on the decreases right now. Oh my god, this yarn. My friend Megan, we've been best friends since 6th grade. We were in choir together, marching band together, dance line together, in all of the school musicals and drama club. We really fell in love. We didn't fall in love. I mean, I love Megan to death, but we stood next to each other in choir, and she's been my dearest friend for so long. And she found out earlier this year that she had leukemia. And so she's been doing great. I think it's been a hard year, but for the most part, I think she's on the up and up, but that's besides the point. I wanted to knit her something to keep her warm. And so I sent her a picture of all of my yarn, the entire stash. And I said, Megan, you pick something, I'll knit you a hat. And so, of course, she picked this stunning colorway, which is the Crazy Sock Lady colorway. Do I have the tag? Yes. Kimber's Cozy Creations. Colorway is Crazy Sock Lady. It's in cozy fingering, 75/25 merino nylon is the yarn. I've enjoyed working with it, and I am almost on the decreases. I posted a picture of this on my Instagram when I first started it in September, and someone asked me if I was knitting a baby hat, and the answer is yes, I am knitting a baby hat because Megan has a baby-sized head. I asked her, I'm like, do you have any chance, no, do you have any idea how big your head is? And she said she had to get measured in the hospital for something, and it was 17 inches. I was like, God, what the heck? So yeah, I'm knitting a baby hat. I think my gauge is ending up being somewhere in between a baby and toddler size, but I'm knitting it about the toddler length, between toddler and adult small, because her head is just as small long as it is around. Anyway, so I'm knitting this. I've been really enjoying it, and I just got to the decreases yesterday. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to finish that soon. and that it's not going to be an oopsie hat. Because you all know what happened on my last Musselburgh. It was big and bad. It was big and bad. And I keep it for the memes now. So this one I think is going to be great. Again, it's fingering weight yarn. I'm actually using a size 4 needle, and I'm really loving it. So once I get that off the needles, as long as everything's good, I have plans to cast on another for Zach as a redemption. I actually told him he could go through my yarn last weekend, and I told him he could pick out any color, and he picked out a blue. So actually I brought it down to show you. He picked this out, which I don't really know what this is. I think maybe this was, whoops, does it have green in it? I actually unwound it all. You know what I mean? It's got like a couple green flags. I don't know what this is. Someone gave this to me. So he picked this, and so this will be my next Musselburgh once Megan's is done, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's nice to have some mindless knits, and that's been a lot of fun. So I like carrying that with me, and it's something pretty easy. Let's see here. The other thing I cast on, when I told you I had a lot. The other thing I cast on is that Advent season is approaching, and I had that beautiful Advent calendar from last year that I have not touched. I haven't touched it. And I love it. I think it's so beautiful, and I really wanted to figure out a way to use it. And I've been feeling the need to have some extra snuggly blankies because the weather is changing and I'm getting cold. Remember, I used to live in the desert for a couple of years. I still haven't adapted. I'm not happy about it. I like to be hot. Not hot, but warm all the time. So I decided that I was going to ditch my northeasterly because it was just going to take me way too long. I wasn't enjoying it. The fingering weight, like I'm thinking if I do it again, I'll probably do it in DK. I do really want to knit that pattern. It's a very long-term project, and it is very tedious. I like it. It's easy, but it's tedious, and it's kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. At least to me right now. So I hadn't picked it up. I hadn't any desire to pick it up. So I decided that I was going to cast on a habitation throw. But I'm using the same concept. So let me tell you. This is where I'm at. I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just started the 5th color, and there are 25 minis. Listen, I looked at the pattern. I didn't want to do the math. And I mean, does anybody ever want to do the math when it comes to their projects? Because I don't. I mean, I'm really in a space right now where I need things that are going to be easy to pick up, easy to follow. I don't want to be having to like look at my work, look at the pattern, be like, oh shoot, my pen, my paper clip, my notes. Like, I don't want to have to catch up on where I left off. It's not where I want to be with my knitting right now. So what I did was I actually, if I can find the link, I'll include it. I found someone who had a project that, actually there were 2 projects that I kind of combined the ideas for that I really loved. I saw someone who used an advent calendar, but instead of measuring and weighing the yarn like the pattern calls for to make sure you use the correct amounts, what she did was she split her minis in half, and then she made the blanket mirrored. So she did like the first half, because you start, right? You start here, and it grows and grows and grows, and then it's like half the size, and then you decrease. So what she did was she split her minis in half and labeled them side A ball 1, side A ball 2, side A, ball 3, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? So it's like 1/2. And so she knit until she ran out of yarn for side A. And then she mirrored it on the opposite side of the blanket. And it came out really beautiful and symmetrical. And I was like, I really like that. I want to do that. But I did really love the way the bear looks with these colors. And I really wanted these colors to shine in their own way. I just think that they're too beautiful to be blended with anything else. And so I also wanted a blanket that was like the size of our bed, not like throw sized. So I found another project page where there was a girl who changed colors at the beginning of every 10-row repeat. And I really liked that because it felt easy. So what I decided to do was that I cast on in Bear, and I got to the part where the 10-row repeat began. And I decided that I'm going to knit a 10-row repeat in a mini, 10-row repeat in a Bear, 10-row repeat in a mini, 10-row repeat in a Bear, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to do that until I use all 25 minis. And then on the Bear, I'm going to do half of a repeat. This is how it's working in my head, so it might not work once I'm actually there, but that's like future Kristina's problem. I'm going to knit half of like the final 10-row repeat on like the increase side in Bear, and then I'm going to start decreasing in the middle of that for the decrease side. And then I'm going to mirror this side. So I'm going to start with this pink on this side, and I will end with the pink on the decrease side. So in the end, it's going to be like a giant blanket and snuggly. And I'm supposed to, if my not really mathy math calculations, if they don't deceive me, then I should have yarn left over, and I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I think it's turning out really beautifully. I mean, look at these. Look at these colors. And it's been really fun, and I've been picking it up if we watch TV at night, and if I need something mindless. So that was that new cast on. And you guys, I have one more. I have one more to show you. I told you, this is probably going to be a really long episode. Longer than I would want it to be, but I have so many things to show you. The final thing I'm going to show you right now is my Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, which, spoiler alert, I'm still on clue 1. So today is Halloween, October 31st, and the whole shawl is out. And I have a lot to say. So if you haven't seen it, or you don't want to see it, or hear about it, skip ahead a little bit, because I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to show where mine is at. So I'm going to start by telling you I'm on the train where everybody else was in clue 1, where they were like, this shit sucks. Let me find my yarn. Where's my bag? Let me show you my colors. So it's a 3-color shawl. If you're not doing it, if you don't know what the mystery knit along is, there is a designer. Stephen West is his name. His patterns are under his name, West Knits. And every October, he releases a mystery shawl. And basically, it's a pattern you can purchase. The intro to the pattern in September. He'll tell you the size needles you need, the notions you need, everything you need to knit it, the type of yarn that you need, how the colors should work together, and that's all you know. And then every week in October, you get a clue for part of the shawl, and you knit it, and you knit it. And then at the end of the month, the whole pattern's revealed. You can see what you're working towards, and people all over the world do it. And it's really awesome and really fun. And it's the first, for me, it's the first very adventurous thing I had ever done, which really fueled my love. I mean, I always loved knitting, but it really fueled my love and inspired a lot of confidence in my knitting skills, and has really brought me to where I am today. So it's really near and dear to me. I think I started with, this is the 13th, so I did the 12th last year. So I guess I started with the 11th. And I have a lot to say about that. So let me show you my colors before I get any further. This year you needed 3 colors. Here they are. This is my main, this is my contrast, this is my accent. So this is a Trilogy Yarns in Forest Green. This is Madeline Tosh in Holy Festival. And this is Sin City Knit Shop. There's no colorway, but it's like a neon pink. I use strictly stash for this. So if you're new and you didn't know that, this is for my stash. The only colors I actually had 2 of were this, and I needed 2 skeins of these. And then I had a couple of others that I already had projects planned for and I didn't want to change. And then a single skein for like your accent color, which I thought this went really well. I don't think I have, oh, I do have my swatch. I'll show you the swatch. So I swatched, and this is what it looked like. So I thought, fine, whatever. Didn't really want a neon shawl again this year, but I'm gonna use my stash because I want to buy a house. I'm saving for a house and a dog and a yard and a giant garden, and so I'm committing to that. And also, it's good to use your yarn. Shop your stash. It's good. You invest in yourself and your hobby for a reason. So I'm about to show you the first clue of what mine looks like. So get ready. Here it is. And I actually really love the way this looks. I don't have the braided effect. You can see here that there's there's like space in between these, and then there's chevrons. I think this is so beautiful. I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to do like the little braidy thing on one of these really quickly so you can see what it looks like. And while I do that, I'm going to tell you I managed to not be spoiled until the 2nd week. And that was really great. And I really loved the adventure. I thought it was really interesting. It was a lot of fun, but I think I kind of gave up on the not seeing the spoilers because I was knitting really slowly. And so it wasn't like I was like excited to keep knitting. There was nothing in this tedious section that was keeping me going at all. Not at all. I was getting so annoyed. It was so time consuming. I'm still not even halfway through the first clue. I like it, but I just needed to see like where it was going to keep myself excited. The other reason is I actually texted my sister, who, if you're new and you don't know, I gave my first mystery shawl to, and I have photos of it on my Ravelry page. And I was so frustrated with that dumb thing after I was done. I was like, you know what? My sister really loves this, and she wanted me to knit her something. I'm going to give it to her for Christmas. And I was so angry with it, and I gave it away, and she loves it. She wears it all the time. And in hindsight, I'm really upset with myself because it is really sentimental to me in hindsight. And I really loved it. I love the colors. I'm so proud of it. And I'm really sad that I know she loves it and she wears it, but I'm really sad that I don't have it. And so I even went to the point, I'm sure I've talked about this, but I even went to the point where I asked her, I'm like, do you wear it? Do you even like it? And she's like, yeah, I wear it all the time. I don't let it touch the ground. Like, she's so careful with it. So I was like, God, I can't ask for it back. So flash forward to now, I was trying not to be spoiled. And so I'm like, hey, I'm going to just send you where you can see the spoilers, and then you can go look. And she says, okay, so I see the spoilers. What am I supposed to do with this said information? And I said, pretend it's like a baby gender reveal. You know the results, you do nothing. You do nothing. And instead of a baby, it's a shawl, okay? You just do nothing. And so she's like, okay, well, I looked at it and I said, well, what do you think? And she said to me, after the first clue, she said to me, if you finish this shawl and you don't like it, I will trade you back. She's gonna trade me back. Here's the braid thing, by the way. So that's what these little loops are for. And so once your shawl's done, the whole first section will be full of like chevrons and braids. And I think it's so pretty. So I'm going to set that to the side because that's really all I have to say about it. I saw the finished thing and I'm a little bit torn, to be honest, for a couple of reasons. First, it's very complicated and like I have to focus on it a lot. I don't want to quit. I do want to learn the skills that are in there. But I think I'm just going to really, in the wise words of Stephen West, embrace my pace. Because I'm just really slow going and it's fine. The other thing is that when I look at the final clue by itself, I'm like, I don't know if I love that. And I think it's going to look really fun in my colors. But I don't know. I just think I'm going to be frustrated knitting it for a while, and I don't want to do that. You know, nobody wants to be frustrated when they knit. So I think I'm just going to like let myself enjoy it for what it is. What I will say is that when I look at the shawl as a whole, I don't love it. I think it's going to look beautiful in my colors, but I don't love the entire design. When you see someone draping it on, you mostly see the striping features that are in it, and that I really love. I love the way my two main colors stripe together too, and I think that looks really pretty, and I think it's going to be super fun, and it's going to look great worn. So part of me wants to keep it, but I think part of me wants that original one back more. What would you do? What would you do? Leave me a comment. Tell me what you would do. Would you finish it even though you know it's going to frustrate you so you can get the one you love the back best? Do you finish it because you maybe might want to wear it? Do you just not do it at all? I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to do it. I have to finish it. I'm going to finish it. I think I just talked myself into it, but like, what if I love it? Do I keep it? What do I do? How do I get that shawl back? That's it. That's my new cast on. I do have a new section I want to add in here about my stash. I am really working hard to knit for my stash. I want to use it. I love these. And it's a little bit overwhelming for me in like a positive way and also a negative way when I go and I look at my stash and I have all of these things happening and I want to knit all of the things all of the time with it. But then I kind of get overwhelmed because I'm not really doing a good job at finishing projects. Haha, I just finished a crap load of stuff. I also just cast on a crap load of stuff, but I want to stay focused and like I want to create things. I want to finish them. I want to wear them. I want to love them. I want to gift them. Like I want to be finishing stuff. But I don't want to buy new things when I already have plenty of beautiful yarn to use that I can find a purpose for. And then once I'm there and I've saved some money to buy a house, then I can buy more yarn intentionally and create more intentional projects. I'm moving towards serious intention with my life in all of the things that I'm doing. And stash is one of those. So I wanted to give you a little update on my stash. I always have wanted to like, I don't want to like scare myself with a yarn diet because that feels very restrictive, even though it's kind of what it is. But I've heard a lot of people do the stash in, stash out method where you basically tally up the number of yarns that you have, skeins that you have, and then you make a list every month of how many skeins went out into projects and how many skeins came in from purchases. So I decided to do just that. And so I wanted to give you a little update on my stash. This is going to be the first time I do this, and then I'll continue until, I don't know, until I decide not to. But so for October, I had 103 skeins of yarn in my stash. Now this counts all full skeins that are in my stash, not in a project. This also includes a couple of like cotton yarn skeins, but it does not include yarn that is in my whips. It does not include yarn that's in like deep hibernation whips that I know I'm going to be frogging. And it also does not include any of the acrylic yarn that I have. It's like baby yarn or like Karen Simply Soft or Bernat, I can't remember what it's called. Like the blanket yarn that's super soft and like velvety. It doesn't include any of those. I don't really, yes, it's my stash. I don't really consider that to be my stash because those aren't things I'm like pulling for regularly. It's just stuff that I have because I'm in the season of life where like people are getting married, they're having kids, or they do have kids, and like I want to gift knit with those. So even though they're there, I'm not worrying about them because they're not things that I'm regularly working with. You know what I mean? Like if somebody was like, Kristina, I'm going to take that from you today, I'd say, great, have it, enjoy it. And I'd be okay. So full skeins that I currently have at the beginning of the month was 103 skeins. And so what I plan to do is that as I cast on new projects and they go into the new project, that is where I will count them as going out. Or if I give them away, which I don't think I'm going to be doing that, but if I did, then I would count that as out. But mostly it's going to be when I'm knitting them. That count does not include any of the project yarns because I already planned these yarns to go into projects before October 1st when I did that count. So this month I've had 2 skeins come in, which I want to show you. And here's why I had these come in. They were not intended to come into my stash, but the Crazy Sock Lady did announce she was closing her shop, and I had just cast on that Musselburgh for Megan, and I was holding on to that single skein, and when I cast it on, I was like, gosh, I'm kind of sad I don't have this to use for myself because it was so beautiful. Even though I didn't have a plan whether it was going to be socks or another hat or something else, I really loved it. And so I was going to order some more. And then when I heard her shop was closing, so she could move back to doing more YouTube things, I decided to buy 2 skeins. So that is what I bought. This is what it looks like caked up. And they came in. Again, this is Kimber's Cozy Creations. I talked about this already, so I'm not going to give you all the details, but I did order these, which is putting my count up to 105. The only yarn that I'm actively buying right now is my Trilogy Yarns Broadway Club. And I did not receive my October skein yet. I think it's for this month. I haven't received my skein yet. I think she went to Rhinebeck and they got shipped a little later than usual. Also, I moved, so some of my mail's still like a little getting lost with the post office. People in the United States, you know, this is happening. It's pain. Part of life now, right now, I guess. But that's the only skein I plan on having come in every month. Advents are going to be an exception, but I'm not going to talk about that today. So really my skein count right now is 105. So we will see how that progresses in the months, the weeks to come. But I actually wanted to show you some other yarns that I did get. I really have a lot of stuff laying around. I wanted to show you some other yarns that I did get earlier in the year. Because there's been a lot, and I don't know. I just wanted to show them to you. Mostly my Broadway Club. Did I not bring the one down? Okay, I guess I'm just going to show you my Broadway Club. I actually got this one skein from a new dyer called Fuzzy Peach Fibers that I really loved, and it finally came in the mail for my NYX shawl, but it came in way later than I expected, and so that's why I ended up using that Malabrigo. So I'll make a note to share that the next time, because when I'm buying yarn again, I really want to buy more of hers. I haven't knit with the skein that I have. I'm kind of holding on to it. I have no idea what I'm going to use it for. But her colorways are so beautiful. And all of her colors, I haven't seen a single colorway of hers that I didn't like. There's not a single one. So I will link her down below. I think she was dying to order before, but now I think she has recently changed her business model where she's just going to dye stuff, and if it's available, you can buy it. She's just doing like updates. I don't know. Check her out. Her stuff is really beautiful. And if you like bright colors and fun stuff like I do, then I think you'll like it too. I'm just going to show you. When I say like I had a lot of stuff down here, like I've got this bin of yarns I wanted to show you, because I haven't got you up on my Broadway clubs. So when my next one comes and my next podcast, I'll show you a little bit better what that looks like and what they come with and how you can see the playbill of the Broadway yarn that she picks, you know, the playbill for the play or the musical that she dyes. The inspiration for the dye style is from the playbill. So I can show you that. She really is spot on all of the time, but I just wanted to show you all of the yarns collectively with the exception of one, because it got lost in my move and I'm pretty devastated about it. I've looked high and low. I don't know where the heck it's at. So yeah, I'm just going to start with what I pull out. So this is West Side Story. It's really pretty. I don't know where the heck I'm going to put these. I guess I'm going to pile them up in front of me. This was like one of the most recent. This was Hairspray. And they're a little like wonky doodle wound because I'm really, first of all, it's so, I mean, look at it. It's so plush. Let me tell you about the base too. I get her MCN 4-ply fingering, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. 450 yards for 100 grams, and that's what I get every month. I've been saving these because I want to use them on a project together. This is Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I think this one is probably one of my favorites. I just think the colors that are in there, it's like truly just so hard to capture. This one is Grease. I love that hot pink. And like the speckles that are up there, are you kidding? So pretty. This was the first one. This is A Christmas Story. So this is the first one she did. It was last December. And I love this one too. It's so special. I just love like these colors, like the teal. I don't know. It's so pretty. Rock of Ages. I also really love this one. Moulin Rouge. I mean, like the pinky that's in there. God, they're so beautiful. I've really been trying to figure out what to knit with them. And I really think I'm going to do a Broadway blanket. But trying to find a pattern. Oh, I also really love this one. This one's Miss Saigon. I love this color. And I'm really into like golds right now, and like yellows, like soft yellows. So pretty. And then the last one is Wicked. The one that's missing, I'm pretty devastated about because it was Little Shop of Horrors. And that's one of my favorite musicals of all time. I was in it in high school, but it's just so much fun. The music's fun, story's fun. I played Audrey. I don't know. I just loved it so much. So when I got it, I was so excited. I remember I set it to the side and I thought I was going to knit Megan and I some matching socks because she was in it with me. And then, honest to God, I have no clue where it went. Like, I know I received it. I was so excited about it. I had it in my car. I can't figure out where it went. And I've searched high and low here, in every box from our move. I've searched at the lady-in-law's house. Like, I have no idea. I know that she sometimes dyes extra of the colorways. So I thought about emailing her to see if she had any extra of that one, just so that I could have like the complete year. But that's the only one I'm missing. And so my goal is to wait till like December, and then I'm going to look at my first year of clubs and figure out what to make in what order. But I thought about doing a blanket. I wanted to also knit, along with the habitation throw, the cozy comfort throw by a homespun house. And that is, I actually knit a swatch to see if my advent calendar from last year would work. You're supposed to hold 2 skeins of yarn together for like a very squishy like DK. Or I mean, you could use DK yarn too, but it's supposed to be 2 fingering weight double. And a lot of people use bare yarn. And the bare yarn was really muting the habitation throw colors that the advent colors I was using, and I didn't want that to happen. So I thought that I would do that with this and just wind these cakes into 2. Does that make sense? Like each skein I would wind into 2 cakes, and then I would just hold them double. And then have a Broadway blanket for myself, and then certainly I'll have leftovers, so I don't know what I'll do with those scraps once they're there. Maybe knit like a big scrappy sweater, or just knit some socks. I don't know. I haven't decided, but what would you do? You know any good patterns for like something like this? I just really want to showcase them so I can look at them and be like, really point out the colorways. I want them to stand out as the colors that they are. But that's about it for the yarn. I am going to do a giveaway today, so stick around for that. Before I get there, I really wanted to talk about some things I've been loving to share with you, and then we'll do a couple of announcements. We'll do the giveaway, and then I've got a surprise at the end of this video. What I have been loving since the last podcast is coffee. I actually have 2 here that I'm going to show you that I've been loving. And the first is from, it's local to me. You can get it from 19coffee.com, I think. But I went and I did a coffee tasting a couple of weeks ago with one of my old college roommates. There's a coffee shop that opened near me that was doing a coffee tasting, and so we decided to go. It was really fun, and one of the coffees that we tasted is probably one of my favorite blends on the planet right now, and I've been drinking it religiously. I just got my second bag, and it is, I don't even know how to describe it to you, but the coffee is 19. It's like the coffee company, I guess, but the blend is an Ethiopia blend. It's naturally roasted. In the tasting notes, it's a light roast, which is surprising because I don't always love a light roast. I'm going to be honest, I'm more of like a medium type of gal. But the tasting notes are blackberry, peach, and watermelon. I don't even know how to describe this to you. The flavors that come out in this coffee, it is not just like your standard like medium store-bought coffee flavored coffee. It is so beautifully bold and well-rounded but subtle, and like I honestly, like, I don't love drinking my coffee black. I'll drink coffee anyway it comes, but this is a cup of, like, I would enjoy this black. So this is what the bag looks like, so you can look. You can go to 19coffee.com, and I think that you can find it there. I just buy it from the coffee shop near me, but it's been really good. The other one I've really been enjoying is one that was actually sent to me by a lady-in-law, a new lady-in-law. Zach's brother got married last year, and his wife, feels weird to say that, Zach's brother's wife, I love, and she just sent us, they just sent us a little housewarming present. They live in Florida, and they sent this coffee from a coffee shop that they love that is Foxtail Coffee Co. And the blend is Farmhouse Blend. It's a medium roast. And the notes are cherry, brown sugar, and chocolate. And I've also been drinking this. This is more of like that medium bodied, like good flavor. I don't know. It's just good. It is so good. So they're very different. They're very different, but they're both very delicious. And I've been obsessing over them. So really been loving that. Another thing I wanted to mention here is I recently found a new productivity method that I have been using to focus on my 9-to-5 not knitting job. And it has been so game-changing for everything that I do, to the point that, like, I put it on when I'm doing chores. I put it on when I'm trying to focus at home. I put it on when I'm doing, you know, my daytime job, 9-to-5. And it is called the Pomodoro technique. And what it is, it's a focus technique where basically you set a timer, and I think the standard is you set a timer for 25 minutes and you focus for 25 minutes straight on, then you take a 5-minute break, and your 5-minute break is supposed to be enjoyable. It's not like, oh, you've been holding, like, you have to go to the bathroom and that's your 5-minute break. Like, it's meant to be something that you enjoy, whether it's like making a snack, like having a snack, or getting yourself a beverage, or getting up and moving around for 5 minutes. For me, it's been knitting. And I think that's how I've been able to accomplish so much knitting than I normally do, because I force myself to take breaks, but it helps me keep focused. I got promoted. I got promoted. So I think I was talking about how I was doing the job of like 3 people, and now I'm just doing the job of 1 person, but I got promoted, so I'm still doing a lot of work, but it's been good. It's been really exciting, so I'm super proud of that. I'm just happy right now. I've been loving my life in general. I've just been loving everything. But this Pomodoro technique, I was doing a lot of work, and I've been able to do like 2 to 3 times more work by using this focus method than I have been able to do ever. And it's so good. And then my 5-minute break, I have to force myself sometimes to take that break, because I'm like so focused and being productive, to force myself to take the break. And I've been working on the musselburg, or I've been working on the socks. And then at one point I was working on the shawl, and I was really trying to finish it. And it's just been so helpful. And it's been reminding me too, to still make time for the joy and the things that you love, even when you're like in a high stress, like have to get a lot of stuff done environment. So I highly recommend it. I actually found it completely on accident. One day it was starting to get a little bit chilly. I think it was September. It was starting to feel like fall, and I was like, you want to know what? I'm going to light a candle today. I'm going to put on some fall-ish music playlists, and I'm just going to like relax, be cozy when I do my job this morning. And I just searched on YouTube fall focus playlist or something, and this channel called The Sherry Method came up, and her videos are so aesthetically pleasing, and that's where I found the Pomodoro timer. So the one that I love the most, I'll link down below. I do it every single day. It's my favorite one. It's a 30-minute timer with a 5-minute break, and I do it all day long. And it's so helpful, and it's really pretty, and the music's nice, and she's got a little countdown for when your break's gonna end and your focus is gonna start, or when your focus is gonna end and your break's gonna start. So it's just, I love it. I love it. So check it out. I hope you do too. The other thing I want to talk about is that for my birthday, Zach got me an indoor grow tent. so that I can finally garden again. You guys, I have not gardened since we moved back to the Pittsburgh area, so it has been over a year. My heart has been sad. It was one of those things you just really didn't realize how much you loved until you didn't have it. And so we've been really getting our indoor gardening on, and I have so many vegetable plants right now that are starting to grow and bloom, and like they're all starting to like blossom. And so I'm like currently like a mad woman picking off the blossoms so the plant gets stronger and the fruit doesn't grow yet, but if I let it, it would. And I've been really loving it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. But there's a lot of people that I've been sharing it more on my Instagram, my plant updates and my gardening and things. And I've had quite a few people message me and ask me if I would start including plant content in my podcast. So I have a plant update today, which I will put at the end of this video. So if you don't want to see it, I won't be hurt. But if you do, stick around. It's something I'm going to keep including to keep you on my crafting journey. So it's going to be knitting and planting, which is my favorite. So stick around for that. I have so many things to share. And today's update is actually a really funny one. I got roasted on Reddit in a vegetable gardening thread. So those are things I'm loving right now. And I can't wait to keep sharing more of that with you. But before we end this and like get into the plants, I have an announcement, and I want to do a giveaway. So my first announcement, actually I have two announcements. The first is that I posted a What I Knit in a Week vlog, I think in September, after my last podcast. So if you haven't seen it, would you go watch it and let me know what you think? I really am trying to do some new things here. I loved doing Vlogmas last year, and I loved vlogging and kind of being a little more like not just sitting on my couch or wherever I'm at, like showing you what I've been working on and being a little more like personal and candid with my life. And I also, I want to be realistic here, and I think I've stressed that enough, so I could probably let emphasizing that go. But I just think, being on the internet and Instagram and Ravelry and YouTube and other things, it's so easy to see all of the people knitting all of the things and doing it so quickly and getting overwhelmed. But I think there are so many more people that are actually like #slow knitters like me, or they just don't have the time to pick it up all day every day like some people do. I dream of the day that I'll be able to do that. Today is not that day. And so I just want to show you, like, realistically, what does my life look like? How can I sneak in a stitch, and how can I have fun with you while I do it? So I posted that. I'd love if you would go check it out if you haven't. If you missed it and you're frequenting my podcast and you're not subscribed, totally do so you get the notifications when I'm uploading. I don't have a set schedule right now. I'm not planning to have a set schedule, you guys, so I'd love to have you back. I'd love to see you here, and there's a lot of you watching that aren't subscribed, so please subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and it helps you know when I'm posting, whether it's a podcast or a knitting vlog. So let me know if you like that, and if you'd like to see more. I actually just got a new camera, and I use my phone. It's really convenient and I like it, but I got a new camera, and so I think I'm going to be testing out like a what I knit in a day type vlog, or a day in my life type vlog or something, to try that out. Zach's actually helping me. I've got like some new equipment that I'm like playing around with, but it's kind of overwhelming because I don't know what I'm doing. But stay tuned for that. But go watch that vlog. I'll leave a link to that. Let me know if you like it. If you didn't like it, if you want to see more of it, I don't know. Just let me know. Just let me know. Be nice though. Because I'm trying really hard. The other announcement is that I am doing Vlogmas again this year. So Vlogmas is going to start December 1st on my channel. It's going to go through Christmas, and I'm just very excited. So just want to let you know I'm coming back for that. I'm very excited, and stay tuned. Can you believe I was picking the music for my vlogs today. That was like what I did this morning with my first cup of coffee. I really can't believe we're like almost at November. November is tomorrow. It's tomorrow. What the heck? Okay. And finally, I'm going to do a giveaway. I know it's Halloween today, but I actually had a really sweet, wonderful friend of mine mailed these to me like last year. These really sweet project bags that she made for me, and said that I could give them away on my podcast. And so I have really been hanging on to these until I can give them away at an appropriate time. So I'm going to do a giveaway, and here's all you need to do. You need to be subscribed to my channel. I'm going to pick 2 winners, and just leave me a comment. It can literally be anything. It can literally be anything. These would be great for socks or like a hat project. I mean, look how cute. Talk about this pattern. Are you kidding? The fabrics, drawstring, they're so cute. They're so cute. So I'm giving these away. So leave me a comment if you want to win. Just let me know. Any comment on this video will be entered in the giveaway. Like I said, I'm going to give both of these bags away. So there's going to be 2 winners. And if you leave a comment and you have a preference on, like, if you want the bags, you want a bag, and you have a preference if you'd rather have like the purple trees or the candy corn and pumpkins, include that in your comment. Like if you want the pumpkin, say like, I want the pumpkin bag, or I want the purple bag. So that way when I pull the winner and announce it in my next podcast, which will be sometime in November, my goal is to have 1 more podcast out before Vlogmas hits, and then there won't be another one until January. But leave me a comment. Sometime in November, I'm going to have a podcast. I'll announce the winner, so you have until then. It could be in 2 weeks, you guys, so be quick about it. But I'm going to give these away so you can have a fun, festive, Halloween-y, spooky knitting bag for all your holiday knits. That's it, you guys. So if you want to stick around for a little plant story time, plant update, then please do that. If not, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, bye guys. Hey you guys, hello from my indoor garden. You can tell by the background, I've got a huge setup behind me. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't, you should, you know that I've been posting a lot about my indoor gardening experience, and a couple of you have messaged me and asked to do an update in my podcast. So I think I'm going to continue this. I'll keep it at the end. Today's update is probably going to make you pee your pants laughing, because I have been on a roller coaster this week. A couple of weeks ago, Zach and I were at Lowe's, and we saw they had some like end of season sorta clearance fruit plants, and we really were like, let's get a blueberry. So we bought this blueberry, we brought it home, we put it in a new pot, and I mean, and it looked pretty live. Here it is. And when we planted it, at least a third of it turned dark red, looked like it was dying. So I took my scissors and I cut it back so the rest of the plant could flourish. And it has. And so last night I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it. It's got all these tiny little flowers on it. And it looks like after we added a fan, they're starting to grow like fruits or something. But I have no idea what I'm doing with a blueberry. It's looking kind of weird. It's kind of fallen over. I think it's just like growing into the bush it's meant to be. And so I post some pictures on my Instagram and I'm like, any like people out there, like, is this what a blueberry is supposed to look like? One of my friends texts me an article of what the flowering process of a blueberry is supposed to be, and it looks nothing like the flowers that we have. Okay, so that kind of throws me into a panic. I couldn't find the tag that I bought the blueberry. I'm like, I know it was tagged as a blueberry. This doesn't look very right. I spent like 2 hours after that watching YouTube videos, going through Reddit, and looking things up on Google, trying to find, and I cannot find a single thing that looks like this blueberry that we have. So I'm more of like a Reddit lurker where I kind of read stuff on there, but I don't really know how it works. And I follow some gardening threads, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to post in this gardening group I'm in, my first Reddit post ever. I'm going to let them know it's my first Reddit post ever. And I'm going to say, what blueberry plant is this? So I post it. I go to bed. I wake up this morning and I have been roasted on this Reddit thread about how I didn't buy a blueberry, I bought a weed. And Lowe's bamboozled me and must have killed my blueberry far before I bought it and sold it to me on clearance. Like, they were like, girl, you did not rescue a blueberry, you rescued a weed. So also on this thread, there's some people that are like, here's what it should look like. The leaves should be this shape. They shouldn't be jagged, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking to Zach about it this morning, and he's like, I thought it kind of looked weird after we brought it home. And it looks like maybe there's some blueberry leaves at the bottom, but the rest of that does not look like blueberry. I think they're right. So I come down this morning with my coffee, like I always do, checking on the plants, and I'm sitting here, and I'm looking, and it looks like there are actually some remnants of a blueberry plant around the weed. So I go back to Reddit. I start a new thread because I'm a geriatric millennial and can't figure out how to add photos to my original thread. And I'm like, hey, is this a blueberry? And they're like, yeah, girl, hack that weed back and try to save it. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'll take you and turn you around. Here's my weed. Okay, I mean, look at these flowers. Right? I'm like looking around. So here's what it's supposed to look like. And the leaves turn purple. I've learned now after my 2 hours of research because they are new plants and they're adjusting to a new environment. So like the red, see, it's like stressed. So like you can see this is stressed. I could probably pinch that off, but I'm gonna let it go. But like this is new growth. And this is what blueberry leaves are supposed to look like. And even here you can see, this is where I hacked it back, but it's growing back blueberry. Whoops. This stem is growing blueberry. This weed. And not the good kind. I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna do it together, okay? We're gonna do it together. We're gonna cut this weed. I need better scissors, I think. Ugh. That's a really strong weed. Maybe I'll start up here. Okay. Goodbye, weed. Man, just imagine how happy this blueberry is gonna be after. I feel like such an idiot. But this is what I mean. I'm no expert gardener. Not even a little bit. And this is how you learn. So, goodbye weed. Hello blueberry. I'm like stressed. Is this a blueberry? This looks like a blueberry. How did this get to be like this? I am so confused. I mean, I'll even show you. I don't know if you can see this. Here's a little branch. I was like, oh, that looks like fruit. No, it's not fruit. It's weed, girl. It's a weed. Okay, this looks like blueberry to me, right? Does it look like blueberry? I don't know. I gotta cut this back. Ugh. Where did it go? Gotta get the weed out of here. I do not want weed regrowth. No, we do not. No, we do not. Okay. I think this is the blueberry now. Here she is in all her glory. Hopefully this will regrow. And this is where, I mean, look, it doesn't even look like blueberry. It looks nasty. Look at that nasty root stem. Nasty. Well, that's essentially my plant update. That's essentially my plant update. We've got some other stuff going. I've been posting about it on Instagram. We've got some tomatoes growing in here that need new homes. I think we're going to repot these today. These all grown from seed. I've got some basil. I grew all of this from seed. The leaves are the size of my palm. There's a lot of plants in this. This is also some basil. I grew a lot to give to some family members to grow indoors because they love making pesto. I've got some lavender back there. This is a lemon basil I've never grown, so that's an experiment. I'm gonna have this dill quarantined over here because we bought it from the grocery store and it was a little stressed, but it's doing better now. And there's the blueberry. So hopefully she'll be happier.